Gotta make them feel the pressure.
Far Cry 5's Hope County is a huge open world that's full of crazy things to see and do. There's so much stuff in here that, to be honest with you, it's very easy to miss something really awesome, especially if you were concentrating on the main storyline and so haven't done much exploring yet. What follows then is a list of 13 of my favourite locations in the game. Locations that I really think you should check out. Be warned though, there are some spoilers for side missions in here, so tread carefully if you want to discover everything Hope County has to offer for yourself. Let's kick things off with a sad, sad story. But wait, don't worry your pretty little face. It's a sad story with a happy ending. Take your favourite mode of transport to Hope County Clinic in John's region, but instead of going inside for a cheeky prostate exam or whatever else it is you do in those things, take a short stroll around the back of the building and walk through the trees until you reach this, a random, unmarked grave. Inspect the grave more closely though, and you'll notice not only a toy bone sitting atop the mound of raised earth, but also a collar wrapped around the base of the cross. Yes, my friends, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news here, but this is a freshly dug grave for someone's favourite dog friend. Oh, that's heartbreaking. But wait! Put those tear ducts on hold because I did promise you a happy ending. So when you've finished pressing F to pay your respects, lob a bit of C4 next to that overturned wheelbarrow there to uncover a huge pile of cash, along with quite a few bags of weed. I mean oregano. As a side note, it is possible to interact with and pick up that toy bone. It doesn't appear in your inventory if you do though, which suggests this item might have been part of a mission that was cut from the game. Still, at least that means there's no physical proof that you stole something from the grave of a dead dog, you monster. Hey, you! Yeah, you over there. Do you like playing with poo? If you answered yes to that question, and I suspect that a lot of you did, make your way to Silver Lake Summer Camp in the North of Faiths region to find one of the filthiest prepper stash missions in the game. As the on-site prepper's note will make abundantly clear, a dog-loving passerby has stolen the master key to the summer camp cabins and fed it to one of the many dogs that the Peggies have been storing in the main building. Without that key, the cultists are unable to access their stash of cash and weaponry, so it's up to you to break into the building and go rooting through a mountain of dog eggs until you strike gold. Chances are high that you won't get lucky with the first dookie that you pick through though, so be prepared to learn a lot about the weird diets of Hope County's hounds. In amongst the clumps of dumps, I found things like skunk skins, prickly lettuce, shotgun shells, and even blasting caps. Oh, someone get those good boys some win-a-lot for Christ's sake. Once you've finally found the key, you'll discover the Peggy's loot hidden in hut number 2. Get it? But don't forget to wash your hands before you go and start touching things, because leaving bits of poop on people's door handles is way out of order. This next location is home to another prepper stash, which, while having nothing to do with poo, does have something unique that definitely makes it worth a visit. Head to this area in Faith's region to find Horned Serpent Cave, home to the Angel's Grave prepper stash mission. To access the cave, you'll need to scale the hill above the entrance until you come to a big hole in the ground where Peggies have been unceremoniously dumping dead bodies. Once you've taken care of the guards, you'll be free to make your way down inside the Horned Serpent Cave. But don't forget to give those disrespectful cultists a taste of their own medicine before you do. See you later, suckers! Climb down past all the stinking corpses and piles of bones, and soon enough you'll come face to face with an amazing natural formation, an underground hot spring full of boiling water. Now, obviously, you'll be wanting to avoid that water. I dipped my big toe in it to test it for you, And yes, it's definitely hurty-burny. So instead, try channeling your inner spelunker to hop and swing your way from stone to stone until you reach the hidden prepper stash on the other side of the cavern. It's not the hardest of obstacle courses, but it's certainly one of the most visually impressive. Chances are you'll stumble across King's Hot Springs Hotel as you make your own way through the game. It's one of the many cult outposts you'll need to liberate while you mission around Faith's region. So, what makes King's Hot Springs Hotel worth a return visit after you've bumped off a bunch of Peggies? Well, the fact is, there's been a few rumours floating around that suggest it might be haunted. According to a note left on the counter, 16 people died here, and now the hotel is dripping in paranormal activity. While I myself didn't spot any ghosts during my time there is for sure a spooky vibe to the interior, especially with all the creepy ambient sounds that play out as you explore. I know that some people on the internet have claimed to have heard unexplained banging from certain areas of the complex, like from behind the double doors near the front desk, but so far I've not witnessed any of those for myself. What interests me the most, though, is what secrets lie behind the door to room 203. This is one of many locked doors in the hotel, and after a great deal of searching on my part, there's no discernible way to get inside. For some reason, though, there is a tiny gap between the wall and the door, which allows you to have a sneaky peek at the interior. Now, I couldn't spot anything significant in there, so perhaps this is just a glitch in the level design, but it seems a bit odd that something like that would have been missed in the QA tests. Perhaps there's more to this mysterious hotel than meets the eye. Maybe there's a hitherto undiscovered passage that leads inside room 203. Maybe if you wait around long enough, you'll discover what's been making all those banging noises that people have been hearing. And maybe... Oh shit, wait, is that bear following me around the room with its eyes? Oh, holy crap, that's unsettling. Now, I can't mention one haunted house in Far Cry 5 without mentioning the other. This is O'Hara's haunted house, and you'll find it near the border of John's region as you cross over into Faith's. This is actually one of the most well-known locations in Far Cry 5, and for good reason. It's home to an incredibly well-made set piece that makes it one of the game's most memorable prepper stash missions. If for some reason you haven't already seen it in action, you really need to make your way there right now so you can experience this ghostly house of horrors for yourself. But before you go in there, make sure you pay close attention to the top window of the barn as you zipline down to the ground from the house next door. You may just catch a glimpse of Old Man O'Hara himself as he stalks you from the shadows. Oh, spooky. Seems like I can't get enough of the supernatural today because I've got one more spooktastic location to show you. Just southeast of Hope County Jail is the Bright Warden Radon Spa. Radon, if you didn't already know, is a radioactive gas that causes, amongst other things, lung cancer, although some people believe that bathing in small doses of it can actually cure a variety of ailments such as arthritis, infertility, and even tinnitus. I think I'll take their word for it. If you're brave enough to ignore all the warnings and head inside the Radon Health Mine by yourself, be prepared to encounter piles of corpses, surprise poltergeist activity, and, worst of all, shadow beasts that will rise up from the bodies of dead angels and run right into your face. Oh, get away from me, you see-through bastard! Obviously, there is some loot at the end of the tunnel, but is raiding the Radon mine really worth the risk? I'll let you be the judge. Who here fancies a bit of a history lesson? Oh, well, no one. Well, that's not surprising because history lessons are normally boring, but honestly, this one is pretty good because it has explosions and elephants and stuff. Well, not elephants, but mastodons, which are a little bit like the distant relatives of elephants and the American version of mammoths. The Mastodon Geothermal Park is located just north of the Moonflower Trailer Park. That's the place where you meet Sharky Beaushore for the very first time. Once there, you'll come across this beautiful green lake, which according to this sign here, was discovered in 1836 and was believed to have been a mastodon watering hole over 5,000 years ago. It's a lovely place to visit if you want to soak up a bit of history and admire some massive mastodon statues, but watch out for a heavy Peggy presence, especially if you haven't rescued Dr. Charles Lindsay yet. When you've finally mopped up all the troublemakers, be sure to visit this guardhouse near the park's visitor centre. There's a phone call in there that you might want to listen to. Sounds like gibberish, right? Well, maybe it is. Or maybe it's a character from Far Cry Primal speaking in Wenja. Talk about a long-distance phone call. Wouldn't want to see her phone bill. Jeez.
Hey, you want to work in a movie? Of course you do. You are the solution to all my problems.
So, you might already be familiar with Guy Marvel's Blood Dragon 3 film set. It can be found to the east of Hope County Jail, right on top of the Grimalkin Radon mine. If you've been there before, you'll have undoubtedly seen the Far Cry Blood Dragon posters and the Blood Dragon eggs and that shitty robot that guy in the background is building.
This place is loud as fuck.
What you might not know, however, is that later in the game, you can revisit this location and actually go inside the mine itself to find another mission from Guy.
Hey, you paragon of human beauty. Guy Marvel here, baby, baby!
Swing by the area surrounding the mine at a later point in the game, and Guy will phone you and ask you to return to his film set. Then, once you arrive, you'll see that the old barrier blocking the mine entrance has now been removed. Head inside for an amazing laser show, mountains of blood dragon eggs, and best of all, an actual blood dragon skeleton. Mark IV indeed, motherfucker. Okay, you're going to need to put aside at least half an hour of your time if you want to appreciate this next location, mainly because it's not one location at all, it's actually bloody loads of locations. Make your way to this point on Angel's Peak and you'll discover a stone on the floor that reads, Number 1, The Call. Joseph Seed hears the voice, it calls him on to become a leader to give hope to wayward souls. This stone is the first of 13 that are set along a path of a huge pilgrimage across the southeast portion of Hope County, and they tell the story of Joseph Seed and the impending apocalypse. Following this path can get a little confusing at times due to the amount of ground you need to cover, but fear not, there's a trail of blood and seashells for you to follow, so you shouldn't get too lost. The pilgrimage will take you to loads of out-of-the-way spots and give you some amazing views of Hope County as you go, so it's well worth packing some supplies and going for a trek. It'll take you at least a couple of in-game days to do this huge loop around the mountains surrounding Rock Bass Lake, and in the end, it'll lead you all the way back up to Angel's Peak behind the giant statue of Joseph. There's no real reward for managing the whole pilgrimage aside from some stunning scenery, but honestly, this walk around Hope County is so beautiful it's well worth giving it a go, and hey, you never know, maybe you'll be lucky enough to hear the voice for yourself. Jacob's region of Hope County has some incredible views, but as it's mainly parkland, there's not much there in the way of truly imaginative locations. There may not be any haunted houses or testy festies here, but there is one mission that almost brings you face to face with a mythical beast. If you head to Dansky Cabin on the west side of Jacob's region, you'll hear a blood-curdling roar, followed by a heart-stopping scream. The prepper stash note located on the porch of Dansky Cabin suggests that that roar might just have come from the mouth of Mr. Sasquatch McBigfoot himself, and if you follow the prepper stash waypoint, you'll eventually be able to find the location of the Hairy Boy's cave, or at least a place where he does a lot of his killing. So far, there have been no actual confirmed sightings of Bigfoot in Far Cry 5, but that doesn't mean he won't be added into the game at a later date in one of the 3 unannounced DLC chapters. Oh, hello there. Sorry if I sounded a bit startled there, but you just walked in on me watching 2 mannequins shagging a pumpkin. If you'd like to see 2 mannequins shagging a pumpkin for yourself, you should definitely pop along to Prosperity in the South of Faiths region, where you'll meet Tweak and his army of shopping dummies. When Tweak's not arranging legions of dummies in awkward poses around the town, he's also cooking up batches of some super sweet performance-enhancing drugs. If you chat to him, he'll give you a few samples for free and then let you go crazy on his mannequin-mashing assault course. Take that, you creepy mannequin bastard.
Gracie, sweetheart, you seem real tense a lot of the time.
That's called combat readiness.
I think you're stressed. You want to borrow Xander?
For what?
You know. Whoa! He really hits the spot.
No thanks. He's all yours.
See? You're so tense.
Fancy getting away from all the bliss-fueled killing for a bit? Judges got you down? Angels giving you jip? Then why not head on over to the 8-Bit Pizza Bar near Hope County Jail, where you can hang out with all your friends over a nice cool brewski or 2. Yup, this rundown pizza bar is a special location because it's where all your guns for hire hang out when they're not following you around murdering fools at your request. The more guns for hire you unlock, the more you'll find lounging around at the 8-Bit Pizza Bar. And best of all, they all interact with each other, and they have some truly funny conversations. Here, have a listen for yourself.
How you doing? Oh, quick question. You never loved me or Daddy, did you?
Oh, God, not this again.
Yeah, Mama, again. I keep asking, but you don't never tell me.
Half the time you call, there's elephants or monkeys screaming in the background, and the signal sucks.
Oh. Okay, I guess you don't want to have a heart-to-heart in earshot of the deputy, huh, Ma? Oh, I understand. And
Okay, this final must-see location will take a little bit of forward planning and more than a bit of glitching before you can get to see it. That's because St. Francis Veterans Centre here is supposed to be completely out of bounds, but if you follow my instructions, you'll be able to head inside and explore it for yourself in no time. The Veterans Centre is located in the northeast corner of the map, and it's the place where Jacob performs his brainwashing routines on you whenever you get captured. If you try to get in there normally, before you reach the front gate, you'll suddenly hear this song. And then the screen will go red, and you'll black out and respawn a little bit away from the building. To avoid this annoying red screen, go to the lake just in front of the house and swim out until you hear the song playing again. At this point, dive underwater and stay there until you drown. As you start to flail around, the song will get louder, and on the point of drowning, the screen will flash white and you'll suddenly become invincible. Now you can climb out of the water and saunter into the grounds of the centre at your own leisure. The grounds are pretty empty, save for a few props and a couple of enemies who will try to attack you. They won't be able to hurt you because you're invincible, so have a bit of fun trolling them before you run off to get a helicopter.
I'm hurt! Yeah! Cover me! I'm gonna charge!
With this helicopter, you can land on the roof of the centre and then drop down to the 3rd floor balcony to explore a room that you'll only ever normally see in a cutscene. Up here there's a little bit of loot and a safe that you can break open for a stack of cash, which is pretty sweet. Whatever you do though, don't fast travel to get the helicopter as it will reset the glitch and you'll have to do it all over again. So either bring one with you and park it by the lake, or go by foot to the helicopter shop just east of the Fang Centre and grab one from there. And there we go, those were 13 cool locations you may have missed in Far Cry 5. If I missed any of your favourite locations from this list, tell us how to find them in the comments below, and if we get enough, I'll do a follow-up viewers' suggestions video later down the line. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do give it a like, do subscribe for more Far Cry 5 videos from Eurogamer, and do have a blissful day. Goodbye.